Hello and welcome to Zwift number 53. This is the Danish Bike Riders Monday race. It's been a little bit slow for me to get this one out, been a bit busy and enjoying the sunshine. We had 14 entrants. Here's a cross section of the route. A number of sprints: Stoneway Sprint, the Acropolis Sprint, Sasquatch Sprint and Woodland Sprint. You can see that in the profile. All of these are through the flatter section. I had a bit of problems with my heart rate monitor. You can see that it's struggling to connect. So here's the route. We drop down on the left hand side down this hill towards the start of Alpe Zwift before turning left and not going up the start of Alpe Zwift. Through those various flat areas that you can see on the profile where all the sprints are before going up that major climb in the race. So that's what we were doing. You can see that I was struggling at first to catch hold of everything. That's because I was trying to connect my monitor, so I had to put a huge burst in to catch up with the rest of the riders, which then led me to flying through the group. We had 14 entrants into the race. This is a 39.2 kilometre race, so quite a long one. Chosen because it only had 260 metres of incline, and when I chose it I hadn't looked at the profile because, as you well know from watching some of the videos, I don't like those big climbs, and we've got a big climb in this one towards the end. Maybe I showed you the profile just before. That clearly was going to be a big struggle for me, so I had to come up with a specific plan. I didn't know what it was when I started the race, but as I was riding along I was trying to work out what I would be able to do. So for around about the first 4 kilometres we've got this downhill like I talked about, so quite a quick pace, concentrating on not being dropped by the rest of the group. You can see that I'm 14th and therefore none of the riders have been dropped at all, and we're just working our way through these early sections and finding out what to do. So as I said, I did wonder about what my plan would be. I knew that I wasn't going to be able to stay with the rest of the riders as we climbed up that final section, so I had to try and do something different, and you'll see what that plan was as we go further into the race. So we fast forwarded a few kilometres, and this is the archway which will be the finish line next time round. So it'll be at the end of around about 3 kilometres of downhill riding, so that'll be quite nice. No real effort to have to push hard towards the finish line. So we're in the 180 to 350 ZRS category, so I can comfortably hopefully hold my own, definitely along the flat, but it's just the climbing that's the concern, and that big KOM that we've got coming up. So fast forward a few more kilometres and we're midway through the Stoneway Sprint here. It's quite a short sprint. You can see the archway in front of us, and we're a little bit stretched out at this point with some of the riders potentially going for the sprint. I'm not sure whether they were, but certainly after we went through the sprint, you can see the rider in the orange, and a couple of the riders started pushing a little bit harder. You can see that G. Mayhull and S. Stankovic, they pushed out the front, and Bout also chased them, and it looked as though we were going to get a little bit of an attempt on a breakaway here. So pretty much single file as we come along this section, everyone pushing hard. You can see a couple of the riders on the Tron bikes, they made the effort to catch hold of the three out in the front, and quite quickly the group came back together again. So fast forward to the next sprint, this time going through the Acropolis sprint, and there were a few little things going on during this sprint. I'm again back in 14th position. We're all bunched up at the moment, which would give the impression that nobody pushing hard, but Jay Lastman is out the front with also with Larson, and they're pushing hard. And a few seconds later, after being out in front, you can see that I'm distanced and a bit of a gap's opened up here, and this is where potentially I can get dropped. So you can see I push up into the 500 watts just to catch back hold, which I'm able to do, but you can see we're quite spread out here. So is there going to be a split? Are we able to create something? Bounce there, he's out in quite close to the front. We've got Smith ahead of him. But you'll see now that quite a few of the riders are back on my shoulder and we're all close by. But I'm starting to think now, can I do little bursts and distance myself from other riders? So fast forward another 5 kilometers and we're on to another sprint. This time it's the Sasquatch sprint. I'm positioned in about 7th position here. Working quite hard, and it's at this point I feel as though, can I make a break and push ahead? So you can see I went up into the 400 watts for a few seconds and want to maintain a nice, strong, powerful push. You can see that Jay Mayhall, he's been distanced slightly. So have we lost Graham? I'm not sure. Only time will tell. But this was going to be my strategy now for the coming kilometres, and that was that I would put a burst in and see if I can lose a rider, because I didn't want to be coming 14th and be distanced by everybody on the climb. So we've whittled it down to 13. Graham Mayhall has now been distanced by 6 seconds, so I'm hopeful that by using this strategy I can get rid of a few of the riders. So this is getting a bit repetitive now because we're on the woodland sprint now, and I know this part of the routes quite well. So a few little bursts of inclines, one of which you can see here where I'm pushing 450 watts. So here's the strategy again to try and distance myself from another rider, and you can see that Graham Mayhall is now 48 seconds back, and we've just also just distanced ourselves from Jonathan Lastman. He's now 11 seconds behind. We've also got Stankovic 4 seconds off, so we might be down to 11 riders at this point if we can stay away from, well, I think we're going to stay away from Lastman, who's 11 seconds back. It's actually jumped back to 20 there. I think I might have misread that, but Stankovic is 3 seconds back, and are we able to leave him as well? So you can see that just as we're going up this hill, we've distanced ourselves from Focaccia. But at the same time as saying that, we have had 3 riders go off the front. Janos Soster, Jan Lingard Larsen and Priteri Yannick, they've all pushed off the front. So I'm back in a group of 8 now, and that leading group of 3 might be the ones who push off into the distance now. There's 3 of them there, so it's not just a lone rider unable to draft. There's 3 of them, so they might be able to get a good enough draft to stay away from us. So let's see how this develops. I'm not going to go after them because I just have not got the energy, but we'll see how things move on in the next few kilometres. So that gap has been brought back slightly. You can see that the Priteri Yannick is the closer of the 3. Janos Soster is still trying to push out ahead, but it looks like we're going to be able to catch hold of a few of them as we go up this incline coming out of the village. So we'll see how this develops. It's been hard going. I did lead out for a little tiny bit, but just wasn't able to sustain it. But I'm aware here that there's a nice strong hill. We've just got Janos Soster out in front, but that lead now has disappeared and he's back with us. So I'm going to push up hard up this hill in an attempt to distance ourselves from some of the other riders. So I'm pushing hard now up over 300 watts. The gaps are starting to create. You can see that Stuart Powell He's 2 seconds back. Brian Smith's quite close to him as well. So this looks like it's having the desired effect. There's nobody that close to me. Paul Cummins is the closest. He's just a second back, which is easily manageable. They can easily pull that back. But I'm looking at the riders at the back now and seeing if those riders who are 2 seconds back can stay with the group. The difficulty is that there's no real splits, and they're probably drafting off each other. So as we drop down the other side, the effort I've put in, and I'm now just easing off completely, hasn't really benefited me in any way, because we're still in that leading group of 11. So we're almost 28 kilometers into the race now. It's a left-hand turn, and we're going to begin this KOM. It's not the whole of the epic KOM, but it's certainly a KOM. So I'm in a group of 11. I don't anticipate staying around with the rest of the riders. I change into a higher gear. I increase my cadence. You can see it's up around 90 for a few seconds there as I adjust. 3 riders go off the front. Deprici Yannick is one of them. Lingard again, Larson again. Jan Lingard Larson again is also out there, as is Brian Smith. But I'm settled into 8th position. I'm thinking, okay, there's a few riders who've gone backwards slightly. One of those is Stuart Powell. He's been distanced to 8 seconds. I've got Paul Cummins a second behind me. So can I finish in a position around about 8th? That would be acceptable. We've still got quite a lot of the incline to go. You can see on the mini map we're probably only about a quarter of the way into it, going through the steeper sections up into the 7% now, and I think it goes up above 8 on these 2 corners. It goes a lot more than that. So Paul Cummins has just gone past me. We're being distanced by 8-9 seconds to a few riders, and then out in front of that is Jan Lingard Larsen, who's 15 seconds ahead of me. Brian Smith's also similar distance. And then there's 2 riders out the front, Deprici Yannick and Janos Zotter, whose name I keep pronouncing in various different ways because I have no idea how I pronounce his name. So, yeah, I've also got, there's Paul Cummins again. I've got Longbottom ahead of me. So really, it's only Stuart Powell who we've distanced, and I'm back in 10th place, which looks like it could be the position I'm going to finish in. So this is the top of the KOM, turning right here and not going up over the top of the epic KOM. And you can see the gaps are huge now with my inability to climb. I've got Gareth Longbottom in front of me. He's 39 seconds ahead. Paul Cummins also riding alongside in 39 seconds. Brian Smith, 50 seconds. Janos Zotter, he's over a minute, and he's riding with 2 other riders. Marcel Bout, and another rider. I can't see who that is now. Oh, sorry, Jan Lingard Larsen. So it's likely to be a lonely ride towards the end. We're up over the top now, so a lot of downhill to come. There's just one tiny little peak of incline to come. We've still got around about 35 metres of hills to negotiate, but that's not too much. Some of that is just through undulating terrain. We've got Deprita Yannick out in front. He's being chased down by Sven Stankovic, who's around about 15 seconds behind. Chasing hard up behind that is Jade Donis, who I don't think I've mentioned yet, but she's up in 3rd place. So yeah, it's good. Stuart Powell, he's 11 seconds behind me. I'm not going to catch Paul Cummins or Gareth Longbottom, who are riding together alongside Brian Smith. So let's just see how this all pans out. But mainly keeping it ticking over. The average watts is 218 at the moment, and I'm riding around that, and I think I gave myself that goal towards the end, was to ride up and around the average watts so that I could increase it by the time we get over the finish line. So we're now inside the final 5 kilometres, and I just thought I'd go through the rest of the group. There's Brian Smith in front. He's just distanced himself very, very slightly by from Gareth Longbottom. And then we've got Marcus Bout, who's riding just ahead of them. Further up towards the front of the group is Janos Zotter with Jade Adonis. Then Sven Stankovic, he's 15 seconds behind Dimitri Yannick, but Yannick looks strong. He's only got a couple of kilometres to go. So here we are within the final 100 metres or so for Dimitri Yannick. There he finishes first in 1 hour and 5 minutes, averaging 2.7 watts. He's followed by Sven Stankovic, 7 seconds behind in the end. He pulled it back from around about 15 seconds, but I think Yannick eased off. Third over the line was Jade Adonis. She was 20 seconds behind the winner. Then Janos Zoster was fourth, very close behind Jade. Then Jan Lingard Larsen, quite close behind, followed by Marcel Bout in sixth position, 38 seconds behind. Then we had Gareth Longbottom crossing the line in seventh. You can see the three of them racing out here now. Gareth, I don't think, is leading at this current time, but he must have come through strong towards the end. He averaged 2.4 watts. Brian Smith, he's going to get second out of this group of three. And then Paul Cummins, he's also going to be quite close behind, but I think he just slightly eased off. Then it's back to myself. I finished in 10th position. I finished 2 minutes 46 seconds behind the winner, so quite a distance, and my Zwift racing scores dropped back down to 3:25. Next over the line behind me was Stuart Powell. He was 30 seconds behind me. Then over the line after that came Graham Mayhall, followed by Jonathan Lastman. So what I'll take from that ride is that I had the ability to push on various occasions and distance myself from the group, and therefore split the group, which allowed me to get a better finishing position, only by a few places, but yeah, that's how it panned out in the end. So I was pleased with my ability to do that. Climbing is still always going to be an issue, but overall not too bad a ride. Okay, please subscribe. I need one more follower for 100 subscribers. So catch you again soon. Take care. Bye.